Rev up your engines!
Well, it looks like Toyota's going to have a new Mini Cruiser out by the end of the year. Now, potentially, they're going to call it the FJ, like the original FJ Cruiser, right? They're going to make a smaller version, and they're thinking that they're going to put in their 2.7-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder, not a turbo, right? And I think that would be a very smart move for Toyota. People are giving them very bad reviews on their Turbo 4s. For example, guy brought me a new Turbo 4 Lexus 500. He didn't like the engine. He didn't like the buzzing it made with the turbo kicking in, right? Now, that is a bigger vehicle, but you take a mini one, you're going to make a mini Land Cruiser, maybe call it an FJ Cruiser like the old one. It's not going to be as heavy as a big old Lexus was, right? So you could probably get away with 2.7-liter four-cylinder that wasn't turbocharged because it will bring back Toyota's legendary long life. Look, Toyota's having engine problems, and their engine problems have a lot to do with going from 8s to Turbo 4s, going from V6s normally aspirated to Turbo 4s, or even Turbo 6s. They're having problems with their turbo engines. Any car manufacturer is going to have problems because over time they're going to wear out faster. That's just the way that it is. Toyota comes out with a Mini Cruiser. Maybe they'll call it FJ Cruiser again. I predict they would sell a whole bunch of them because, listen, Toyota, your fan base is people who want to buy a vehicle that lasts as long as possible, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles. Making a non-turbo one only makes sense. You should look at your own market. Don't be stupid like Harley Davidson, who decided we're going to make electric Harley Davidsons live wires, right? Then they sell a few hundred of them a year because nobody wants to buy the stinking things. That's their market, is noisy motorcycles that can go a long way, make a lot of noise, not some quiet thing that can't go that far that costs a lot of money, right? So maybe Toyota's wising up and they're going to go away from some of these turbo. Already, a lot of these car analytic places are saying, well, Toyotas aren't the best anymore because those turbo engines are blowing up. Maybe they're going to realize that's not the way to go with everything you make. You know, maybe you want to make cheap little cars with little turbos because it's cheaper to make, gives them more horsepower, right? But if you're going to sell them these Mini Cruisers, which certainly aren't going to be cheap, people want something that's going to last. And Toyota, if you're listening to me, please put the V6 engine back into the Highlanders and back into the 4Runners. They're garbage with the Turbo 4s. Oh, Mary Barra and GM are at it again. Now they're saying that our pivot away from our Cruise is going to pay off and we're going to make billions on it. Now, if you don't remember, didn't watch the story I talked about, GM gave up with Cruise and they wrote off, I don't know, $3 billion. They realized we're not going to be making any self-driving vehicles anytime soon. So instead, they have a thing they're calling Super Cruise. Now, that's not a car. Super Cruise is a semi-self-driving software system like in a Tesla, right? And GM calls it Super Cruise. So Mary's whole theory is, well, you get it free when you buy the car, but after a certain period of time, you got to pay a subscription for it every month, right? Well, Mary, I got to tell you something, Mary. You didn't learn diddly squat. Because you guys said years ago you were going to make billions in car software by selling it to the people who buy your cars. But then you found out, whoops, somebody's paying 50 to 60 grand for an average new car. It's a lot of money, I don't care. And if they're buying one of your fancy pickups, it might be $81,000. They expect to be able to use everything that's on that car. They don't expect to pay a monthly subscription for it, right? So you think you're going to make billions on that? You're a fool. Well, they made so many bad decisions at GM to make your head spin and fly right off into outer space. But here's just another stupid idea, GM. We'll charge a subscription for... Look, there's a big difference between paying for Microsoft Windows. Big difference between that. And you go out and buy a $60,000, $70,000 car, truck, SUV, whatever. And then you got to pay a subscription on top of that. That's just an insult, right? These fools think they're going to get away with it. Well, Mary, I got to tell you, you ought to look for another job because you don't know what you're doing as the head of GM. People, Americans especially, don't go for this. They don't go for paying for a subscription of whatever it is, even if it's $10 a month. It's the principle that you bought this car for all that money. You better well let me use everything that's on it for that kind of money, right? So if you're listening, Mary, hey, maybe put your resume out there. Look for a job of something you actually understand. Well, good news for people thinking about buying a Ford Maverick. Now, originally, these things put out 250 horsepower with their EcoBoost 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. But they said for 2025, they were only going to put out 238 horsepower because they had to meet California emissions, and that gave them less horsepower. But I guess now that old Donald is president and they're pushing away a bunch of these EPA rules, Ford now says they're going back to the higher 250 horsepower engine. Now, from 2021 to 2024, this EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine put out 250 horsepower, and they said, no, the new ones, 2025, are going to have 238. Well, now they decided, no, they're going back to 250. Now, it's the same engine and everything. It's just a different software setup, because if they had to meet these stringent California emissions that they don't have to anymore, they would lose horsepower because of the emissions taking horsepower away. So they're going back to what they originally were, so the people that were happy with them can now be happy that if they buy a new one, it's got as much horsepower as the old one. Now, if you're curious, the hybrid version puts out only 191. It gets a lot better gas mileage because it's got an electric motor and it's got a gasoline motor, and the gasoline motor is not the EcoBoost motor, so it puts out less horsepower. But I'll tell you one thing, if you think about buying one of those, you might think the hybrid version, because it's going to outlast. It's a non-turbo engine, and the non-turbo engine is going to last a lot longer, plus you get a lot better gas mileage with the hybrid. Turbocharged cars have false economy. They test them on dynamometers where a turbocharged car actually gets better gas mileage, but as a human drives it in the real world, not a machine just sitting there on a dyno spinning at one speed, you get worse gas mileage, most people with turbos, because you hit stuff on the gas when the turbo kicks in, you like it, so you go fast. Faster the engine spins, the worse your gas mileage. Well, with Mercedes-Benz sales way down and starting to collapse, Mercedes says they're announcing a bunch of new models. But guess what? Like, this is a surprise with Mercedes, right? What are these new models? High-end, super expensive ones. Mercedes sticking to their philosophy of, we'll sell a smaller number of very expensive cars, right? Well, Mercedes, I got something to tell you. You're living on your laurels in the past. Mercedes are no longer known by anybody who understands cars as high quality, cutting edge. They aren't anymore. And to add insult to injury, aren't made in Germany. They're made in other countries. You want a German car? Buy one made in Germany. I don't care what anybody says. The same thing goes with Japanese cars. You want a good Japanese car? Try to get one made in Japan. They just do a better job building them. Just yesterday, a guy brought me a brand new Lexus. It was a 500 hybrid. He paid $85,000 for that car, and it was made here in the United States. Came all the way from Houston to Clarksville, Tennessee, to show me how lemony this car, all the problems that he had with it. It was made in the United States. You're going to buy a Mercedes, and they're selling expensive ones, but they're not made in Germany? Ha! Good luck on that one. Last year, Mercedes had a 40% slump in their car business. 40%. The car division, they're still stuck in the past that they think they can sucker people into buying super expensive ones because it's the quality Mercedes. Well, guess what? Their quality's going downhill, especially the ones made here in the United States, the ones made in Mexico. Hey, they think they're going to sell more expensive. We have new models. We have new models. They're coming out right now. The new Mercedes. And they're all expensive ones, right? Yeah. That's all I got to say. You can see they're on a downhill trend, and that's for sure. Whether they put out new expensive models or not, they're probably not going to change all that much. There's a lot of competition out there these days. A lot of cars that are well made that cost less than the Mercedes and actually outlast them. The whole thing about Mercedes was they used to make quality cars that lasted a long time. Well, they've lost both the quality and the ones that last a long time. Ask anybody who owned a Mercedes recently, they'll probably tell you it's a gigantic money pit. Well, it looks like the Volkswagen ID.Buzz, that little van, from the 60s, microbus, only now it's an electric version. Looks like it's starting starting to fail before it's even taken off. They're already offering deep discounts. I checked online. Locally, people are selling them for $48,000. That's what they're asking. The list price is 60 grand, $59,995. Okay, so the list price is 60 grand. They're already offering for $48,000 locally. And why? Well, because unlike the Cybertruck, they had all this hype waited. When it came out, people were paying $50,000, $100,000 over list price, right? The ID.Buzz is a failure from the very beginning. They've got to lower the price a ton already. Got a lot of problems. One is it's got a very limited range. They claim it's 235. Somebody tested one out in California, got way less than 200. And then when it's cold outside, you'll lose range. The reason the microbus was a massive success is because it was inexpensive. The original one was $2,200. And even with inflation, that's like $23,000 today. Yet their list price is about 3 times that. It's no wonder they're not flying off the shelves. On top of it, come on, let's face it, it's an all-electric battery-powered vehicle, and these things are not that popular in the United States. Call them camper vans. They take them camping, right? How can you take something camping, go out in the woods, if you run out of electricity? What are you going to do then, right? Lots of campgrounds don't have electricity. It's already off to a poor start where they're discounting them deep, up to $15,000 off. And this is new. They just came out. I saw 3 of them at a Volkswagen dealer. They're just sitting there. There was nobody running around looking at them. They're not getting people excited. At least the people who buy them. It doesn't look like we're going to be that enamored with it. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.